we all have that type of movie that we just gravitate towards. The one that you don't have to show us anything, you got our money already. For me, obviously based on this channel, it's primarily superheroes. Or even Star Wars, let's say. You don't even have to show me anything, just tell me there's a new movie coming out and I'm there. But I also like to try and just broaden my horizons and see some movies that I'm not typically in the mood for, or movies that I wouldn't generally rush out to see. And with Oscar season coming around, I like to try and see some of these movies that are supposedly probably going to be Oscar nominations. One of these is Brendan Fraser in The Whale. So yeah, I just got off work and that's the movie I'm going to go see. Honestly, I'm not really having any high hopes for it because it's not my normal type of movie. But I'm going to go in with an open mind. Apparently Fraser is brilliant and just amazing in this movie, even if the story itself isn't great. And I'm just going to allow myself to, like I said, have an open mind to it, try to enjoy myself, look at it as, there's plenty of other movies that don't revolve around fantasy, superheroes, Star Wars, all that good stuff. There's other types of movies you can enjoy. So, I'm going to go in here, like I said, and check out The Whale. I'll let you know what I think when I get out. Why? Why did I talk myself into seeing that movie? Here's a reason why you always do a little bit of research, and you can't always trust trailers. Because I see the trailer, I think, oh, it's this guy has had problems, and he's trying to reconnect with his daughter. Simple enough, sure there's more to it. And I said, oh, Brendan Fraser could be up for an Oscar this year. This movie could be up for an Oscar. I'm going to try and see more of these types of movies. And I'll be lucky if it's good. If it's not, hey, it can't be terrible. Oh, and I should have done more research. There's a story I have about working at a theater when Greatest Showman was out, and this couple walks into the theater, and then a couple minutes later, they walk out, and they request a refund. I ask why, and they said they didn't know it was a musical. If you had done your research, or if you had seen any of the posters and boards we had up that said from the music director or from the composer of, I can't remember what movie they were from, but it was clearly there. Like, it seemed pretty evident that it was a musical. Yeah, I should have taken my own advice. I should have looked to see who was directing this. Because, boy, did those trailers lie. First off, let's start with what I thought was good. Because based on that reaction, I'm pretty sure you know where I'm going with this. And how I feel about this movie already, without me continuing. But performances, they're good. They were good. They did a really good job. Brendan Fraser was indeed good in the part and did what he needed to do. He got some emotion from people. I started feeling for the guy. And the other performances were fine. They were good. But then the problem was it was hard to focus on the performances. Because about halfway through, I started to get suspicious. Because I'm like, there's something going on here. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I'm like, there's something here that's bugging me. And by the time the movie was in its third act, yeah, I had a pretty good idea, or at least I think I had a pretty good idea of what was going on, the meaning behind everything, the illusion behind everything. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The performances, the only known actor to me. Now, maybe the other actors and actresses have done big things, or maybe they've been in television, but I'll be honest, I don't know them. And their performances didn't really stand out to me. I mean, they were good, don't get me wrong. But I was there, admittedly, I was there to watch Brendan Fraser because he was the one everyone was talking about. And yeah, he did a good job. He definitely got the emotions out there. You definitely felt for the guy. And you could, to a certain degree, understand why he was upset, why he was angry, why he was frustrated. But you just, it was good. I mean, that he did a good job with that, bringing out all those emotions, showing those emotions. But it just, for me, I started to focus on the story then. Once I started to pick up on things, and I just couldn't help it. But like I said, the girl who played his daughter, she was good. yeah, she did a good job, you know. I actually liked her the most, I think, just because she was a brat, you know, and she really put people in their place. But is that weird? His nurse, or his friend that was a nurse, she was fine. That's probably what I would say about most of these characters. None of them really stood out. And that might be one of the flaws of the movie, is that aside from Brendan Fraser, who's clearly giving it his all, the other performances don't really stand out. I don't know if they're supposed to or what, but it just didn't. The other ones, it's hard for me to find words to describe them because so many of them are one-dimensional with a bit of, I don't want to say humanity because that's the wrong word. They do have their moments where you're like, okay, maybe they're not terrible, or maybe there is a little depth to them. But it felt like they were a lot of one-note type characters until their final moment, basically. The final time they would show up in the movie. And, I mean, the story itself, it's slowly revealed over the course of the film what exactly is going on, or the backstory to help build Brendan Fraser's character, which I think his story, that's what helps the movie a little bit, but that's what helps him, because it's all about him and stuff he's going through. And I mean, that's what makes it tolerable to a certain degree. But yeah, the movie, it's so frustrating. I got out of there, and to be honest, I was depressed. I was like, why? Why did I watch this movie? This movie was nothing like the trailer. And then we see who directed it. And as soon as I saw that name, I'm like, I think that was the guy who did another movie. And of course, Mother. Yep, I was right. He was the director that did Mother. And yeah, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, well, yeah, there's the reason why. Now, I will say, I like this movie better than Mother. That's for sure. But it's still, everything clicked for me then. I'm like, oh. So I wonder if this is what he's saying, or what he's trying to say with this film. Now, I did see it was a play before it was a movie, so it's not entirely his fault. And it's not, I mean, maybe the play is better. Maybe he took a lot of liberties with it. I don't know. I never saw the play. I had no intentions of seeing the play. But, I mean, I guess I'll give him credit. I mean, definitely evoked a lot of emotions in me, and I'm sure most of them were what he wanted. I did laugh a little bit because that's the one thing I do say. All film has to have a little bit of comedy. I feel like you can't have a straight drama or a straight adventure. You need a little bit of comedic elements in there just to lighten the mood a bit. So yeah, I did laugh a little bit. But I looked at his producing credits as well. And some of the films, like I saw that he helped, I think it was produce Noah. And I realized, oh, well, these are the types of movies, these are the types of stuff he's into. But that's all to say that, yeah, I didn't care for this movie. It was, thinking about it, it was way too preachy. I'm sure there was more of a message in there than I really wanted to see. But that wasn't what I went to. This was another example of trailers being really misleading. Because with Mother, it looked like a horror film. And I was like, okay, a horror film. But then you watch it, and it's nowhere near that type of movie. It's completely different than what you think. And I think this movie was the same way. And yeah, I guess, like I said, I just had to do my research more. But I digress. Like I said, performances were good. Brendan Fraser was really good. Gave really good emotion, made you feel things. The story, it was a fine story. But it was just really, really boring. And it was not for me. I know there's people out there that will love this movie. I know there's people that like this movie. But it's not for me. And I'm okay with watching a lot of different types of movies. I'm not just a comic book guy. I'm not just a sci-fi guy, even though that's what I put a lot up on this channel about. I'll go see other types of films. I'll go see a romantic comedy. I'll go see just regular comedy. I'll go see a drama. I'm fine with that. I'll go see a biopic. But you gotta make it entertaining. You can't make people feel like crap entirely. And, I guess artistically, he did a good job. It was well done. The set looked good. But it just was not what I was expecting. These trailers lied again. So this is definitely a lot shorter review than some of my other ones. But the truth is, this movie wasn't for me. I know there's people out there, like I said, that will like it. I know it's made for certain people, but it wasn't made for me. I was the youngest person in the audience. I'll say that right now. I tried to give myself some culture. I try to put my preferences aside and go see different types of movies, a different type of movie even. But it wasn't for me. Now, maybe you'll like it, but chances are that if you're into the stuff that I'm into, the comic books and the sci-fi and things like that, then this movie probably isn't going to be for you. Am I angry that I spent my time watching the movie? I'm not going to say I'm angry. I guess I do appreciate the art, and I appreciate the time that they put into it, because it looked good. Like I said, Brendan Fraser's performance was good. Definitely the best of all the characters, but they all did a decent job, and the story moved along for the most part. But I was waiting for something. I was waiting for more to it. And as soon as I started to pick up on the imagery, once I started picking up on some of the metaphors I think they were trying to say, I'm like, oh God, here we go again. So yeah, this is not a movie that I can recommend. And I mean, it's not because, like I said, it's not because their performances are bad. It's not because Brendan Fraser did a bad job. It's just, I can't find the entertainment value in it. And that's one of the things I look for. Am I entertained? That's why I like movies that a lot of other people don't, because I just find them entertaining and fun and escape the real world. This movie honestly just brought me down. So, with all that said, what ranking would I give this? Well, I think it's pretty obvious, or at least the way I'm going. I'm going to give this movie a ranking. I'm going to give it a ranking of Henchmen, because I can see the good things about it. The performances, like I said, Brendan Fraser's performance was good. The directing was good, because I'm pretty sure this is what he wanted. But it just wasn't what I was hoping for. It wasn't what I was expecting. So yeah, if you're a nerd like me, then I can say avoid this movie. But what do you think? Did you decide to take a chance and see this movie? If so, what did you think? If not, has my review changed your mind about seeing it or not seeing it? And what type of movies like this would you like? What are your feelings on these types of movies? You know, the ones that seem to get, I don't want to say religious, but the ones that promise one thing, but they deliver something totally different. I'm sorry. I'm babbling because this movie, I'm just like, what did I watch? Why did I watch this movie? Most movies I can find something good about. I found some good stuff about this movie. But anyway, leave your comments down below. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And until our next video, remember, read what you love, enjoy what you love, and let's all work for a better fandom. I'll see you next time.